The morning sun filtered through the gauzy curtains of a modest flat in Chennai. The city was already beginning to hum with its cacophony of honking autos and distant temple bells, but inside the quiet apartment, the world had narrowed to a single reflection. Aparna stared into the mirror. Her thick black hair tumbled past her shoulders, slightly wavy, meticulously oiled and combed as it had been every day since childhood. Her mother had always told her, a woman's strength lies in her hair. It is her pride, her dignity, her beauty. Aparna had believed it too. But this morning, that belief was unraveling, one strand at a time. She sat silently, her hands trembling on her lap. It was the final day of her mourning. A year ago, her husband Vikram had died in a car crash. A surgeon, noble and gentle, with laughter in his eyes. Her world had collapsed when he left. For the past 12 months, Aparna had worn white saris, stayed away from festivals, and withdrawn from the world. Her laughter, her colors, her identity had dimmed. Now, the rituals were to end. And with it, the final rite remained. One her grandmother had whispered about, one steeped in tradition, in sacrifice, and in shedding. Tonsure. She had resisted at first. It felt archaic, almost brutal. But something inside her shifted in the past weeks. The grief had coiled so tightly within her that she could no longer breathe. And she realized, she didn't just want to end her mourning. She wanted to shed her past. Shed her old self. Begin again. And so she walked. The journey to Tirumala was slow, steep, and scorching under the Andhra sun. Pilgrims passed her, chanting, singing, carrying children on their backs and burdens in their hearts. Aparna, in a simple white cotton sari, climbed each step barefoot, whispering Vikram's name with each breath. Her hair was tied in a long braid, like a snake slithering down her back, soon to be severed. The temple loomed into view by evening. Golden towers against an orange sky. She offered her prayers in silence, tears rolling freely down her cheeks. She didn't ask for blessings or peace, only courage. In the tonsure hall, the scent of sandalwood mixed with the raw, earthy tang of shaved scalps and sacred oils. Dozens of women sat quietly as their locks were taken away, leaving shining bald heads behind. Aparna stepped forward. The barber, an elderly man with kind eyes, gestured for her to sit. Her heart pounded. She lowered herself to the stool, her braid falling beside her like an offering. He dipped the blade in sacred water, muttered a quiet prayer, and began. With a single stroke, her braid was severed. Her breath caught. It was as though years of memory, of Vikram's voice, her childhood summers, her wedding day, everything bound to her hair, was cut in an instant. The blade continued, stroke after careful stroke. Her scalp tingled. The warm breeze kissed the exposed skin. Hair slid down her shoulders in clumps, pooled on the floor. Children nearby watched curiously. Some smiled. By the time the final tuft was gone, Aparna sat still, her scalp completely bare. The barber handed her a mirror. She looked, and gasped, not because she was ashamed or afraid, but because she had never seen herself like this. So raw, so honest, so reborn. Her eyes, large and luminous, dominated her face. Her cheekbones were sharper, her neck elongated, her very presence transformed. She looked like a monk, a warrior, a widow no longer lost, but found. Later that night, she bathed in the temple waters, dressed in a fresh ochre sari, and walked out into the moonlight with her head held high. Her family back home had expected her to return quietly, resuming the role of grieving widow. Instead, Aparna began again. She moved to Bengaluru, started teaching at an orphanage, woke up every day before dawn to practice yoga. She wore big earrings, bright bindis, and sometimes no head covering at all. Her baldness became her identity, not in rebellion, but in reverence. People stared. Some admired. Some questioned. She didn't explain. In time, fine stubble began to grow. But she chose to shave again. Not because she mourned, but because she had found a strange, sacred power in it. A year later, she stood once more in front of the mirror. The same reflection, but not the same woman. Aparna smiled. She had not lost her strength with her hair. She had found it.